We are back with Season 2 of Chicago Brewed Sports. As always, this is Joe. My name is Andrew. And we're a podcast for the fans, by the fans. You know, I'm sure you guys have a ton of questions regarding where's Brandon at or what happened to our weekly episodes that we used to put out all the time. And we're going to do our best to explain why and, you know, what happened, basically.
Yeah, we had a lot going on. So back in January, I think that's right around when we casted our last episode.
Yep.
I bought a house in Lake in the Hills. So we're actually in my new house that I bought right now, currently recording this episode of Chicago Brewed Sports. So yeah, it was a foreclosed house. Had to do some remodeling. Stuff with the wedding. I'm getting married next month.
Wedding's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know.
So a lot going on. So we kind of took a break, season break.
A hiatus.
Yes, and we are starting back up again.
We are starting back up, that's for sure. And as for Brandon's not here, but he will be with us probably next week or so. As for Brandon as well, him and his new wife, they were also in the process of moving along with Joe at the same time. On top of a bunch of wedding plans and all that, so it kind of just naturally ended. You know, season one ended naturally. So Brandon now just got married. It was a beautiful wedding. I'm looking forward to Joe's wedding that's coming up very soon. We are actually going on his bachelor party next weekend.
Next week.
So that's going to be very exciting.
Absolutely.
Brandon's bachelor party was incredible as well. Wedding was beautiful, like I said, but
a lot to get into.
A lot to get into. There's a lot that has happened while we were gone. A brand new Bears team with a whole new outlook, a new offense. Defense is still really good. I'm just excited to get rolling back into this with you, Joe.
Absolutely.
I'm
just
really
as excited as you are, man.
Absolutely.
So, we're gonna this season. We're gonna focus more on the Bears. Obviously, Andrew will cover the Cubs if something happens. Somewhat. Our main focus as of right now is the Bears, and I understand the Chicago Cubs are still fighting for that wild card spot. And we will be giving updates on them. But for right now, our focus primarily on this podcast is about the Bears. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we will have guests like Tony, who you guys know, to cover the Blackhawks, and Alex Pankey to help out with football and every now and then.
Yeah, we actually got a new member that will be joining us too as well. Jimmy Collada.
Yeah, and Jimmy Collada, who gets out of the Marine Corps really soon.
God bless him.
Yeah, God bless him.
So he will be. This is kind of like a temporary episode because we will be casting the rest of the episodes. And Andrew he will have a house and he has a basement with a bar in it, and it's perfect setting for what we're looking
setting for sure.
And that's most likely where we're going to be doing the rest of our episodes. So but I guess let's get into it.
I think it's time to jump into it. For sure.
So I don't know, Andrew. You said you were at the Cubs game. You watched,
Yes, I was at the Cubs game today. We beat the Toronto Blue Jays 3-2. That was a whole lot of fun. This is the first game where I was under the left field bleacher scoreboard, which I didn't know it was all you can drink and all you could eat. So I definitely indulged myself in a few hot dogs, some burgers, and all that good stuff.
You get a hot dog down there.
Yeah, but the game was really beautiful. There were 2 rain delays that happened today, and I just want to speak about what happened on one rain delay, and it was just like an awesome moment, just like Wrigley Field vibes, like through the roof. So as the rain delay was going, they turned on the song "Have You Ever Seen the Rain?" You know that song. It's a legendary song, and the entire stadium was singing it, and it just it is great to be a Cubs fan. It's great to be a Chicago fan. Maybe not a White Sox fan right now, but as a Cubs fan, it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
The vibes are there. The team is looking up. We have been playing better. We went through that horrible May-June stretch where kind of screwed us on the season. But
Sox fan, not so much.
But some trades definitely boosted our morale and our lineup, like Isaac Paredes. Getting Morel out of Chicago was the best thing for him and the best thing for the Cubs. His glove wasn't there, his bat wasn't there. Yes, he had a ton of raw power. The dude could hit the ball all the way to Sheffield Avenue. Everyone knew that. He was electric at times, but he was too inconsistent, and I really want to harp on inconsistent.
Yeah.
Even though his walk rate was up, his strikeout rate was down from the previous seasons, he just wasn't getting, or he wasn't producing what the Cubs wanted him to produce. And I think by trading him to the Tampa Bay Rays, that is really notorious for making superstars out of like struggling players and players that people have given up on. I think Morel is really suited for the future with Tampa Bay, and I think Jed Hoyer, Jason McLeod, Carter Hawkins, they all did Morel really well by letting him go. But it was time for him to go. We all will miss his smile and the energy he brought to the clubhouse. But getting back Isaac Paredes and not giving up a whole lot for him with 3 years of control, not making that much money, huge for the Cubs this season and moving forward. So hats off to Jed Hoyer for making that trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it looks like the Brewers are laughing at us though. With them getting rid of their manager or us getting their manager, and obviously they're in first place, I think.
Yeah, you just gotta ask yourself like, what has happened this season to where the Cubs were supposed to win the division. Honestly, if you look at our roster from top to bottom, I think we have the best roster in this division, by far. Who would have thought the Brewers would have been on top?
That's the weird thing.
And it's so aggravating because I feel like that's just like a true testament to, and I don't want to give them tip my cap to Wisconsin teams, but I feel like they're just always competitive, always freaking competitive, and they're always a thorn in our side.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree, and it does seem like with baseball it's weird because they made that movie The Moneyball, right?
Yeah.
Where they had no talent on their team, but he figured out an algorithm where you could win games.
Yeah.
And based in certain situations.
The reason why the Brewers are as good as they are is because number one, they really harp on small ball. They play the game the way it should be played.
Yeah.
They're also, I believe, the best defense. They had the best defense in the league, I believe. I could be wrong in that, but at least they're top 5, so they really play good defense, which helps out, their pitching staff and all that.
Yeah.
It causes less stress on them, and they just I don't know.
No, I
it's kind of hard to even talk about just because they shouldn't be as good as they are.
Just stick with the basics. People try to overcomplicate it. Just stick to what works, and usually you'll be fine. So.
But as of this year, it'd be a miracle if the Cubs come back and win the actual Central.
Do you know how many games they're down?
They're down 10 games, I believe, right now. So, being into mid-August, there's really no way the Cubs have a window to winning the Central. But they are still in the wild card race. I believe they're 4 games back.
So 4 games from the wild card.
4 games isn't too bad. But the Cubs really do need to go on a – they really need to go on a stretch right now where they win 10 out of 12 games. They need to go on a stretch where they're winning consecutive games. We have an easy schedule coming up. Yeah. We're versing Pittsburgh. We're versing the Marlins. We're versing Washington. Toronto this series. We're reversing a lot of teams that are beatable, right? So this is when the Cubs could propel themselves back into that third wild card slot. And who knows what happens from the third wildcard slot. All you got to do is get into the playoffs. You saw the last 2 years how the Phillies made the World Series in 2022, and they were a wildcard team. Yeah. You saw Arizona last year. They were a wildcard team, and they made the World Series. It's all about when you get hot, and I think the Cubs right now, they have a good enough offense and pitching staff, of course, to be able to do that, but they just got to start playing well right now.
Yeah. Would you say they still need to get some closers, or are you happy with?
It's funny enough. Their bullpen was really struggling to start the season off. They were so bad, and they were dead last in in baseball for ERA and all that stuff. But as of late, they really have turned things around. They got Nate Pearson from Toronto. They got Jorge Lopez. They got some other guys off of waivers and just signings, which really boosted their bullpen. And their bullpen has actually been their strong suit kind of lately. And I believe it's been like top 5 in baseball for the past month or two.
Yeah.
So the bullpen really is no longer the issue. Hector Neris still is kind of iffy. I'm really looking forward to him leaving Chicago after his contract's up. He won't be re-signed, that's for sure. $9 million for a guy like Hector Neris. It's not happening.
Yeah, I feel like you could never have enough depth though.
Of course. You can never have too much pitching. You see today all the injuries through pitchers, and it's a shame. Like primetime guys who you want to tune into every week when they're pitching, like Shane Bieber, UCL, Tommy John, Spencer Strider, Tommy John surgery. You had Garrett Cole to start the season with potential Tommy John, surgery. But luckily he's back because it's better for baseball when pitchers like that are back. Yeah. But pitchers are just dropping like flies, so you can never have too much depth.
You wouldn't think like baseball's not a real physical sport. You wouldn't think there would it be as much injuries, but it's crazy, man.
You would think, and you're right. Yeah. It's not football to where it's a contact sport, but especially for pitchers, you gotta understand. Like I could see pitchers being hurt as much as they are because I don't think like humans are really supposed to be throwing as fast as they are. Like, for example, like Spencer Strider consistently throwing in the upper 90s, like 98, 99, every single, and it's crazy. Like, of course, your shoulder and your arms are going to be dead after a while.
I like that one dude from, any word on him, Kopech from the Sox?
Yeah, so Kopech, and obviously everyone knows Kopech. He was, and one of the prospects that was in the Chris Sale to the Boston Red Sox trade for Yohan Moncada. Yeah. They got, I forgot who they got back. They got, They got Yohan Moncada and Michael Kopech back for Chris Sale. And that trade ended up working out well for Boston because that was the year they won the World Series in 2018. But as for, Yohan Moncada and Michael Kopech, they never reached their full potential. Yohan Moncada had that one good season in 2019 where he hit 30 homers and he was looking like, he was going to pan out and do really well. But injuries has really, just ruined that guy's career, I think. He's just made of glass. Like every time he gets on the field, he's just always hurt. And it's kind of sad to see because he was once the number one prospect in baseball with so much potential and people were excited to see what he could do. It just never worked out that way. As for Michael Kopech, after trading for Michael Kopech, he needed Tommy John, just like how every pitcher needs Tommy John nowadays because their arm cannot, sustain that much power or whatever. So they lost him for a season. After that, COVID happened to where he lost another season because he opted not to play because I guess he was just afraid of getting sick. He wanted to be with his family. So not only was, Tommy John and then losing out on the season for COVID, he lost 2 years of important developmental seasons. Yeah. I think that's the big thing here. So after Kopech came back, he was good, and then he had some issues being a starter, moved him back to the bullpen. But the Dodgers ended up trading for him, and if there's any team you want to go to, it's the Dodgers. And just like the Rays, I think Kopech is going to thrive in L.A. They're going to have a role for him. He's not going to be the closer yet. I mean, maybe someday if he pitches well, he can move into that role. But
I remember talking about Ohtani last year with, the Dodgers and his big deal.
Yeah, it's so aggravating that the Cubs didn't sign Ohtani. I mean,
I remember asking you last time, Andrew. Do you know if the Cubs even offered him anything? Is there still no word on any of that stuff?
There were reports that the Cubs offered Ohtani, I believe, in like the $500 million ballpark range, which still hats off, to Tom Ricketts. That's still a lot of money.
He would have made him still, I think, the highest paid.
It's still a ton of money for sure. But when you look at the Cubs, you don't think about a team that has to worry about financial stuff, right?
Yeah.
They sell out every single game. They own majority of Wrigleyville. They have so much damn money that it's like Why would you not go after a guy like Ohtani?
LA though, too.
Yeah, I know, but we could also play bully, man. We could also match LA.
I wonder if they didn't know like what. I'm sure they knew LA was like bidding for him, but I don't know like if they knew like what they were putting in, or offering him, I should say. And
it's so aggravating because if you look at the Cubs lineup, it's not bad, but it's missing that like it factor. It's missing that one player that could that Juan Soto type bat, that Ohtani bat that could like propel them to the next level.
Yeah, it's a team sport.
And if the Cubs had Ohtani in that lineup, man, our team would be disgusting. Our offense would be one of the best in baseball. We'd be on the top of the leaderboards. We'd be running the division. So I think he should have gone after him. He should have sent another contract, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people thought it was going to ruin sports. Him getting paid that much money. So I don't know.
And for sure, without a doubt, if the Cubs did ultimately end up signing Ohtani for $700 million like the Dodgers did, that would have made all the prices of beer go up, food go up, tickets go up, and Wrigley is already super expensive as it is. So I'm sure the casual fans like us, would not have liked that, but we also would have liked to see him on TV.
That's why I like
hitting nukes onto Sheffield, and
there should be caps for because I know for football there's caps, for hockey there's caps, but there's no caps for basketball or baseball. Yeah,
you are correct when it comes to baseball doesn't have a cap space, but what they do have are tax thresholds.
Okay.
Like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3.
Sure.
And I feel like those kind of act as
a cap.
Yeah, a cap for sure, because
they're going to tax the shit.
If you get past a certain tax threshold, like the Yankees are like right under it, to where if they even like traded for someone or like signed someone, they'd be over it. So the Yankees right now are almost on the cusp of like, if they were to go out and sign a dude for $50 million, well, they would be taxed $50 million because of how much they are over the payroll. So, you can't really spend money at that point, because if you sign a guy like Juan Soto next year, if they re-sign him, which I'm sure they'll figure out a way to, but if you sign a guy like Juan Soto to a record-breaking deal like people are expecting, because he's only 25 and he's well on his way to a Hall of Fame career, like if you sign him for $500 million, well, that deal just turned into $1 billion, because
that's the thing I was
which is pretty bad. That's a lot of money just to pay for tax.
I was telling you that about Ohtani because of his age. 29, and they're giving it, I know he doesn't get paid it until like 10 years, but still, 29, you're still up there. You're kind of towards the end of your prime when you say, but baseball's a little different, I think, because it's not physical.
And baseball is different. I think like your prime age ends at like 32 or 33 in baseball. So they do have longer careers in baseball, obviously, because
obviously
it's not
the Dodgers
contact.
The Dodgers are all in, like for World Series, clearly, if they're doing that then.
Yeah, but the Cubs missed out on Ohtani, and that's a shame. Like, it would have been really fun to see Shota, Suzuki, and Ohtani all on the same field at once. We would have had the entire Japanese population watching Cubs games, And think about how much money that is alone.
That's true. Because
Japan is big on baseball. They just won the World Baseball Classic,
Yeah. I think the only reason Suzuki might have been for Ohtani to come here is because of Suzuki. But, because you said he shouted him out, right? Or called, like, hey, man, Ohtani signed a contract or whatever.
Yeah, supposedly Suzuki and Ohtani were good friends back in Japan. I believe they played on the same team. I could be wrong there, so whatever. But, look, that's all water. That's under the bridge. It's all water. It didn't happen, so it's not really worth talking about further.
No.
But hopefully the Cubs can sign some good players next year. It would be fun to see Juan Soto, but we'll see if that happens.
Absolutely.
But I think we covered a lot about the Cubs. Yeah. There will be more to discuss next week about the Cubs. But let's definitely move on to the Bears. And I just want to start off by doing something kind of fun with you, Joe. I want you in front of the camera to discuss not discuss, but tell me whether or not the Bears are going to win or lose.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Sure.
And I will be reading down the 2024 schedule the entire time. And Joe, and like I said, I want you to tell me yes or no.
Okay.
Joe, will the Bears beat the Titans week 1? That was a very quick yes.
I knew who they played week 1.
The Titans have improved, though. They have improved this season. So, I mean, but I do agree. I think the Bears will beat the Titans.
Yeah.
Week 2, we're going up against the Texans.
Lose.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think we have a good shot at beating them. I think it will be a good game. C.J. Stroud and Williams
they almost made it to a Super Bowl last year, the Texans, and that was C.J. Stroud as a rookie. I think he's only going to be better.
They also got Diggs.
I was just going to say, they got
also got
Diggs. I actually drafted Stephon Diggs in my fantasy football league.
So they have Nico Collins, right?
Yeah.
Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and
so next and
that's
Hank
scary.
Dell.
Yeah.
And so next to the Bears probably having the best wide receiver core, I think the Texans are up there too. So if not better than the Bears, probably with Stephon Diggs now, probably better than the Bears. So
probably lost just because the Bears have a new squad that they still got to mesh well together.
The Texans are, I think.
The Texans are a very good team.
They're Super Bowl contenders.
So if the Bears lose against them, I wouldn't be surprised. But I still believe the Bears can win that game.
The Bears are maybe wild card contenders this year, but the Texans are.
Well, hold on and hold that thought. Let's just go through the schedule and then we'll give our the Colts week 3. Win. I think that's also a very good game. It will be close, but I think the Bears will edge the Colts. Week 4, Rams.
I think we're gonna win still.
Win for sure.
Yeah.
So right now you have the Bears going 3-1 so far.
They lost Aaron Donald.
Yep. Aaron Donald retired. What a great career he had.
Yeah, and Matt Stafford's up there in age. He's not like the young Matt Stafford we used to know. And he still has some decent wide receivers, but Cooper Kupp is old now too.
Yeah. They also had that other wide receiver. I forgot his name.
Mike Williams.
I forgot.
Williams.
It's not Mike Williams. It's some other some young wide receiver is pretty good.
I
forgot his name, dude. I can't think of it. Well, whatever. It's not worth harping over. Week 5, we got the Carolina Panthers.
Win.
That's an easy win. Yeah. And I just want to add.
Panthers,
I just want to add that I really truly believe that trade between the Panthers and the Bears will go down as the most lopsided trade in sports history.
Oh, Joshua Palmer.
Sports history.
That's me. Joshua Palmer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
What were you
but
saying
I
about
think
sports history?
I think the trade between the Panthers and the Bears
Yeah.
will go down as one of the most lopsided trades in sports history, if not the most lopsided trade in sports history. We got Tyreek Stevenson from him.
Yeah.
One of the picks we got Keenan Allen with that we sent. Darnell Wright. We got Caleb Williams.
No, we just picked up. We didn't trade for Keenan Allen.
Well, one of the picks that we had from the Panthers, we traded, I believe, for Keenan Allen. So he was technically a part of that deal.
I don't think we traded for him. I think they just didn't re-sign him, and then we picked him up.
No. We traded
was
for him.
Was it for a trade?
Yeah, we traded for him, 100%.
Oh, yeah, maybe you are right. Yeah.
We traded for him for sure. Not only, and we got a 2025 second-round pick. And
you're right.
And the crazy thing is, I think I'm still forgetting a name in that freaking deal. But,
yeah, it was a good deal for sure.
Well, okay, right now we are 4-1. Jaguars, week 6.
I think we're gonna win. I really think Trevor Lawrence is. I think he's a solid quarterback, but I really do not think he's. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think he's. I think he's a little bit below average as a quarterback. I really do. So that's just my opinion.
I'm still a fan of Trevor for sure, and I also absolutely love his Goldilocks. He has really nice hair. He has really nice hair, and that's for damn sure.
Out of the 5 quarterbacks that were drafted, which Fields was in his draft class, he's the only one that's a starter.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. I also really respect the Jaguars, owner, Khan. I think Khan is a really great guy. So,
Trevor Lawrence is another one of those.
And Trevor Lawrence, he's just like he does everything right. He stays out of trouble.
He's a good guy.
Good kid.
Put in a
good
bad
kid.
situation. He with that one guy coming over from the the Florida Gators, I think.
I forgot his name, but he got caught cheating on his wife at the club.
Yep.
Yeah. And what a disaster that was.
That was a disaster. So I think that he wasn't put in the best situation.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But regardless,
that's how it goes, though, man.
It's not the Bears. We care about the Bears here. Week 7 is our bye week. Boo. Okay. Week 8, Washington. Win?
Yeah.
All right. 6-1, I believe.
And this is like the Bears have the third easiest schedule. Like it's going to get harder though. Like the first half is going to be easy, which I'm glad because then it's easier for Caleb Williams to transition into the next half of the schedule, which is like where we play all our divisional rivals.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a lot. We have the hardest probably division.
Yeah, we have a really bad second half against a lot of good teams.
So yeah, we might start off strong, but then. Which is good because I think it'll help, develop Caleb Williams.
For sure.
And I think it's going to be a tough end for him.
All right. So after Washington, we got Arizona.
I think we're going to – this is another one of those teams. I don't know. So they got Malik Neighbors they drafted.
No, Marvin Harrison.
Oh, yeah, Sorry.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, you're right. Malik Neighbors went to the Chargers. So, Marvin Harrison Jr.
No? Neighbors went to New York.
New York Giants.
Yeah,
that's right. Shit, dude. Man, and I drafted both of those.
No,
guys.
You're good, man. It happens.
Right,
there's so many names. There's so many names.
So, anyways, so Marvin Harrison Jr. as their number 1. That's Kyler Murray's number 1 now. I don't know who.
And Murray, I'm so torn between him. He's so short, but when he's healthy, he's pretty good.
Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No, I'm talking about Murray.
Oh, Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
5'10".
I'm not sure what to think about him. I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. It's like he's not bad enough to where you got to draft a new quarterback, but I don't think he's the answer really. Definitely having a guy like Marvin Harrison.
I think he's an average quarterback.
Yeah, having a guy like Marvin Harrison, it's going to help out a lot.
That's why I drafted him.
For sure, it's going to help out a lot.
I knew MHJ was going to be a starting.
I think Arizona will improve this season, but I think we will beat. I think we will beat them for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
So I'm saying we're 7-1 so far, and Joe agrees. Patriots, that's an easy win. Patriots are going to be one of the worst teams in football.
They drafted Drake May.
Yeah.
Which, after Tom Brady, they're chasing that quarterback every year now. It seems like they're trying to get another Tom Brady. But
yeah, the Patriots are not a good team. They just lost Belichick. Drake May, who knows? He's going to need some years to develop. He's not walking into a situation like Caleb Williams where you have 3 number 1 wide receivers, 2 great tight ends, DeAndre Swift, Herbert, Bayless Jones, Johnson. You got great defense.
I said this
amazing secondary.
I said this last year, and I don't know if you remember or not, Andrew, but I said that I liked Drake May better than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no, you're crazy for that, Joe. I'm sorry to say.
I know. At the time, that was a year ago. So, and I've changed my opinion since.
And also, Drake May was from North Carolina.
Yeah.
And Trubisky
has
given all of his PTSD from quarterbacks from North Carolina.
But another thing, but you have to remember, who else came from North Carolina? One of the greatest
Jordan
players of all time.
That's a different sport.
Different sport. It's the same. Same college.
Dude, maybe North Carolina just doesn't. They don't have a good
Michael Jordan
system.
Curse. The Michael Jordan quarterback curse. I don't know. Just made that up.
All right. Now we're getting into where the schedule starts really ramping up. Where we might start seeing some L's here. Week 11. The dirty Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about this a lot. So the Packers.
The dirty Green Bay Packers.
The Packers are just getting off a bye week, and then they play the Bears. People are saying that they got 2 bye weeks in a row, which I kind of agree. So until they can beat.
Well, no, that is not fair to say. Dude, if you look at the Bears roster from this season,
I know what you mean. But
last season to this season, man, it's different, dude. There's a different vibe in the clubhouse.
Andrew, do you know the last time we beat the Packers?
I get it. It's been a while.
2018.
I get it. But hey, just like how the Cubs haven't won 108 years, well, they did win. So eventually, the tables are going to turn, and it's going to get to a point where the rivalry will go back to it being a really good rivalry. And I think I hope so. Right, and I could honestly say, and I will argue with anyone, I think this is by far the most talented Bears roster in our history. Even with the 85 Bears, with that elite defense, the best defense of all time, they still lacked an offense. Yes, they had Walter Payton, but that's pretty much all they had.
I mean, but Jim McMahon was injured.
And Jim McMahon wasn't even that good, you know?
He was solid.
He wasn't bad, but he wasn't.
Dude, so the problem with Jim
McMahon, he got carried by Walter Payton and the defense.
No, I
for sure.
I know
but if you look at this team this year, dude, we have. I mean, our offense is just absolutely mind-boggling. DeAndre Swift is going to be such an issue for teams, considering we have Keenan Allen, Moore, and Rome going downfield. Mm-hmm. They're not going to know what to do with DeAndre Swift.
I want to go back one step, and then we'll go one step forward.
Hey, we are getting off track though. We got to finish the schedule.
I do want to mention real quick with Jim McMahon, because you did mention Jim McMahon. So Jim McMahon. You know who he kind of reminds me of is Johnny Manziel, because Jim McMahon never studied any film. He drank and partied the night before, but the problem with the difference between Johnny Manziel and Jim McMahon is Jim McMahon actually played and didn't not go to his own game to not play. Yeah. So he actually showed up for games to play Jim McMahon. Yeah. But if he would have studied, and he was injury prone too. So he got injured a lot, and that was another problem with Jim McMahon. But I think that when he was healthy, he was a very solid quarterback.
And I will not argue with you on that. But Joe, I need your score prediction. Well, not your score prediction, but will the Bears beat the Packers Week 11?
Okay, so before I give you my answer, real quick, the last time we beat the Packers,
it was a while ago, no doubt.
At Soldier Field was 2018. And it was with Mitch Trubisky, the 2018 season.
Yeah, and that was actually the Brett Favre playoffs. That game was for Brett Favre, I believe. Was it? In Lambeau, and we kind of disrupted. It was kind of funny.
Good. Anyways, and the last time we beat the Packers at Lambeau Field was in 2015 with Jay Cutler. So just let that sink in. So
no doubt. I think without a doubt, everyone knows that the Bears cannot beat the Packers. So there's no reason on harping on.
Yeah, until they can prove to the fans that they can beat the Packers, I'm going to say no. They're going to lose.
You're saying no. I'm saying yes. Okay. So Joe has them as
right.
8-2, and I have them as 9-1. I will say I think the Bears are going to split this year with the Packers. I don't think we're going to go 2-0. I think we will split a game. I don't think the Bears are going to allow.
So this is the game that you're picking.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're picking the game that they're coming off a bye week. That's a good pick, Andrew. Okay.
Joe, you just have no faith, and that's all. You got to have faith. All right. This is a different team. Simple as that. If you believe the Packers will beat us, twice this year, I think you're dead wrong, honestly. But Week 12, Vikings. That's a win.
Do you know if we play at the Vikings home or ours?
I don't.
So I would say, I would agree. I think, depending on if they're playing the Vikings at home or vice versa, we'll probably beat them at our home. And I think that we're going to lose to one of theirs at their home.
Okay.
So that would be my.
And I think we're taking 2 games from the Vikings this year, so we're definitely flip flopping here.
Yeah.
So you're 9-2.
Okay.
And I'm 10-1. Wow. I'm really going deep with the Bears this year. Week 13, Lions.
I think it's going to be. It seems like
the Bears play well against the Lions, man.
I know. I was just.
They always play well against them.
It's like the Lions. We're like the Bears with the Packers, and the Lions are like the Lions and the Packers.
We always play well against the freaking Lions. But with that being said, I'm going with a loss on that, so I'm going 10-2.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to split with the Lions this year. I think we're going to lose one and win one.
All right, so right now you're 9-3.
Yeah.
Alrighty, San Fran, Week 14.
Loss. They're Super Bowl contenders.
Absolutely. So 10-3, and you are 9-4. Week 16, Lions. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. Week 15, Vikings.
Well,
that's a win.
Yeah, like I said, I think I said I was going to split it. So we'll
so
win
you're
one,
going 10-4.
Yeah, depending on home. Yeah. I think we'll win the home one and we'll lose the away.
Yeah, for sure. So you're 10-4. Yeah. All right. Week 16, Lions. I think we're splitting just like the Packers. So I'm going with 12-3. Right now, Joe has them at 11-4. 17, Seahawks.
I think we're gonna win. I don't like Geno Smith that much. I think he's.
I think Shane Waldron did a lot for Geno Smith, but now that we have Shane Waldron, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Geno Smith does this year for sure with a new offensive scheme.
He's kind of old too. I never really, he's in his 30s.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't lie though. It was a great story how Geno Smith jumped from team to team.
Yeah, he never really got a chance.
And he never got the chance, and it was nice to see. It's nice to see like quarterbacks and just people like that in general succeed later in their career. Yeah, like some people are just late bloomers, and Geno Smith proved that he was a late bloomer.
Yeah, well, I think it helped too because he sat behind like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
he sat behind Eli Manning, so he sat behind some really good quarterbacks. So I think he also developed.
He also sat behind Mark Sanchez on the Jets, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And okay, so
I think that's the year he started. Then they traded him the next year or whatever on the Jets. Didn't he get drafted by them? Or no? I don't remember.
I'm not sure
yeah.
who they drafted.
Either way, whatever.
Shoot, I lost my train of thought here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's week 17. Okay, so I'm going with a win against the Seahawks. And you're going with the win or loss?
I'll go with the win. Yeah, I think we could beat the Seahawks.
So you are 12-4 right now. All right. Last game of the season, Packers. I'm going with a loss on that. I'm going with 13-4. Joe's going 12-5.
That sounds.
Yep. But regardless, we were pretty close on our
But I could be totally wrong. About the Packers
we could be.
Too. It could be just a fluke. Jordan Love. I mean, the first half of the season, they killed the Bears the first game, but after the first game of the Bears, they struggled.
But Joe, this is a new mindset, dude. We can't be we will never grow as a franchise if we continue to be like, we cannot beat Green Bay. Yeah. Look at what Montez Sweat said on Twitter this year. Dude, that had my blood running, man. I was hyped. My hairs were standing up. We're taking 2 from Green Bay this year. We can't continue to have the mindset that Green Bay beats up on us. Look, we have a generational freaking quarterback in Caleb Williams, easily top 5, draftee prospect in history. You saw how poised he looked in both games. He had a couple of beautiful passes. Our defense is incredible. Our offense is incredible. Why can't we? We got a respectable and formidable offensive coordinator because Luke Getsy, he just didn't work out in Chicago, and it was obvious.
Yeah.
Hopefully Shane Waldron could bring the fire, this season, and look at what he did to Geno Smith. He turned Geno Smith's career totally around.
I agree.
I agree. And having a guy like Caleb Williams with all the potential, why not? Why can't we take 2? Or at least split 1. This is the year I think we're going to start.
I hope so, man.
Start getting some wins back, man.
Well, we'll see. Green. They have essentially you look at their team and you're like who do they have? I mean they have.
They actually have a very talented roster.
Josh Jacobs.
They have a talented roster for sure.
Well, I mean some of their defensive players.
Their defense is good.
Their offense. Who is it?
Good.
Who on their Josh Jacobs? Okay,
Jacobs is one of the best.
And they dropped
running backs.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones went to.
That's what I'm saying.
Vikings.
Josh Jacobs, but who else besides Josh Jacobs? I mean, they have
Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, but
they got that Reed guy, that Reed kid. I forgot his first name.
Austin Reed?
No, I forgot his name, but he's supposed to be Alexander Reed.
Oh,
Alexander Reed. Yeah, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
so
I mean, they got I remember when we lost to them the last game of the season, and everyone's they have essentially no one on their team, none of their wide receivers are as good as DJ Moore, Keenan Allen.
No, they're not.
And
I agree.
They still beat us, and that was really real tough.
But
it is what it is.
And right before we move on, dude, the last half of this season is going to be a freaking dogfight. It really is going to be a dogfight. We're versing Green Bay twice, Detroit twice, Minnesota twice, all in the last half of the season. The Bears every single week in the second half is going to be going to war, man.
I think it'll be good though because it'll give Caleb Williams times to develop.
I
almost wonder if the NFL knew that, and that's why they did it the way they did it.
And give Williams primetime games and get him acclimated towards the stress that he's going to be, involved in that.
Right.
Without a doubt.
So we got another game too that we are going to play, Andrew, and it's basically who would you rather have as the starting quarterback for that team or Caleb Williams?
And I apologize, I got to use the washroom.
All right.
Before. So Joe, you better keep
him
company. You better keep him company. And talk about your wedding plans. Or you can talk about the bachelor party.
Yeah, so bachelor party. Not that you guys really care probably, but we are actually going down to Lake Geneva, renting out a Steamboat Luis. It's a boat that tours the lake, and it fits up to 50 people. They have a cash bar on the boat, and it should be a good time after that. We're going to go back to town. We're doing a brewery tour at the Topsy Turvy Brewery. There will be a brewmaster there. I believe that we're going to be doing beer tasting and also just learning the history of the company. And after that, we're heading back to the hotel. We're going to smoke some stogies. Then we're going out to the bars later, and it should be a fun time. So we're just doing one day, just fast and short, which is fine with me. I didn't want a long weekend thing, bachelor party. I kind of just wanted one day and just be done with it. So a little cheaper that way. But sounds like Andrew's coming back.
Beer?
Yeah, beer me up. So, but yeah, I don't know if any of you watched the preseason. Been watching the preseason games. It looks like we got some good depth at quarterback.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Finish this one then all. But Caleb Williams, I mean, we were talking earlier today, that throw to Roma Dunze, it just looked really, really good.
Really good. That looked better than good, dude.
The Bengals.
That was incredible.
He had a rough start his first quarter, and then he kind of after the first quarter, the next quarter, because Matty Eberflus, I believe, said that he only wanted him to play one quarter, and after that, they were going to take him out, put in Tyson Bagent. Matty Eberflus didn't like what he saw the first quarter. I think that maybe Shane Waldron was just calling some just some throwaway plays like, hey, this may or may not work. It's the preseason. Who cares?
Yeah. You also don't want to give up your entire offensive scheme in the preseason.
Right,
exactly. So it makes sense that they could have been experimenting with new plays or whatnot.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Andrew, because that's what we thought during the preseason last year with Luke Getsy. And clearly he didn't change anything from the preseason, which was really scary.
Like I said earlier, this is a new team. This is a new season. 2023 is in the past.
Yeah.
That's a dead season.
I
Who
think,
cares about
no
it?
offense to Luke Getsy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I just think that Shane Waldron's a lot better of a play caller than Luke Getsy was. So
yeah, of course. And by all means, I hope he does well.
But hey, I will
Vegas.
give.
But like I said, who cares about it, man?
Right.
It's last season. It's not worth our.
I will give Luke Getsy some credit though. It's kind of the similar thing with Matt Nagy. Like Matt Nagy was the one that scouted out Patrick Mahomes. The whole reason why the Kansas City Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes was because of Matt Nagy.
Well, now we got Caleb Williams.
I know. So not saying that, but Luke Getsy did find find us a really good backup quarterback to Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. So I mean, he did find him. And he's an undrafted free agent.
I think it's too early to tell if that's true or not. But what I will admit,
I said solid backup.
Really what I will admit is that I think Bagent, he adds a lot to this team in the aspect of it's exciting that the Bears kind of have like two unproven quarterbacks right now.
He's a really humble guy.
Well, the Bears have two unproven quarterbacks right now, so it's like, if Williams, God forbid, hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but if he does get hurt, we still have Bagent, who we're not sure what his skill set is right now. So it'd still be kind of fun to watch him and see what he can do. It's not like having some like veteran backup quarterback who sucks, who we know is a journeyman who sucks. Like Bagent, for all we know, could be good one day. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be like incredible. I think he could have like a decent career, as a good backup. I think he could be a viable option. But
the funny thing is that because originally the game that I wanted to play was who would you rather have on your team, Tyson Bagent or Caleb Williams? And Andrew was like, hey, why don't we do or Tyson Bagent or the starting quarterback for that team? And Andrew's like, why don't we do Caleb Williams instead?
Well, there's no way we're going to talk about Bagent over Williams.
No, and you made that make sense.
There's no way we're going to do that.
But I just want to say that there are probably at least like 8 or 9 teams out there that I would rather. I think Andrew agreed with me too when I was going through the list that you'd probably rather have Tyson Bagent than some of these guys starting. So I think Tyson Bagent could start on a lot of teams, like at least like 8 or 9 NFL teams. He probably could be a starting quarterback.
But why don't we get to the game about Williams?
Right.
And this segment should be good. I'm actually really excited for this. And there will be some hard ones. Like, yes, Williams is an elite prospect. Yes, he looks incredible in this preseason. He looks good. Him and Rome, that combo will be special. But there are some quarterbacks out there who,
that's what the plan is. Kind of like a Jamar Chase and
exactly,
Joe Burrow or Stephon Diggs before he left.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen or Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. That's what we're kind of hoping for. Rookie drafted player.
Man, these teas are actually pretty good, dude.
The 2-turn. Yeah. We'll go over. We're not leaving out the beer review of that.
Yeah.
So
we are not
beer/alcohol.
Not leaving that out.
All right. So the first team we got here.
First team. Let's go. Let's go.
Is the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Would you rather have Lamar Jackson or Caleb Williams? Which is kind of a tough one, but.
Oh man. I mean, you would be a fool to not pick the 2-time.
Yeah, you know what?
MVP.
Write this down, kind of like how you did, so we can see.
You'd be a fool not to pick the 2-time. I mean, fuck, dude. I really, really like what I see from Williams right now, but I just don't think that'd be fair to choose Williams over Lamar Jackson, who's proven to be one of the best quarterbacks in football. So I would have to go Lamar, the surefire stud. Even though I think Caleb will amount to be one of the best quarterbacks in football, I cannot pick him over Lamar. Simple as that.
You know what I'm gonna do instead actually is anytime you pick Caleb, I'm just going to make a mark or a tally. Or no, you don't. Okay. So sorry about that. So I'm going to pick Caleb Williams, and the reason why I'm picking Caleb Williams over Lamar Jackson, which I don't blame you, Andrew, for picking Lamar. Lamar is a very talented quarterback. If you did like a tier list, for my tier list, just real quick, Tier 1 is Patrick Mahomes, and basically everyone falls into their own tier list. So Tier 2, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. So yeah, he's up there. So I don't really blame you for picking Lamar. Yeah. The problem with Lamar Jackson, though, is that you kind of have to tweak your offense, especially because he's kind of like a Justin Fields, but a better Justin Fields.
A way better Justin Fields.
He was what we were hoping we were going to get. Which Lamar Jackson. We were hoping we were going to get a Lamar Jackson 2.0, and we kind of got like the generic version of a Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is better at reading defenses. He's better at throwing, and he's
for sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's debatable running. They're about equal, but who cares? It's a passing position, so not a running position. but you still have to kind of tweak your offenses because Lamar Jackson runs. So it's still kind of like that specialty quarterback thing. It's not your typical pocket passer, your scrambler. Yeah. He's kind of like a unique quarterback.
We definitely won't be going this much in depth for every single pick because we'd be here forever if we did that because there's 32
Jackson
teams.
Is like
but that really is in kind of like a hard question.
Yeah. All right, so next one, Josh Allen or Caleb Williams.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Josh Allen as well. All right, so Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson or Caleb Williams?
That's an easy one, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Andrew. I'm gonna do Caleb as well. So this one is kind of an interesting one because the Denver Broncos just drafted Bo Nix. I know he had a really good start. It sounded like I didn't watch the game today.
Yeah.
But so would you say Bo Nix or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
I'm gonna have to agree with Andrew on this one again too. Bo Nix. All right, Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud or Caleb Williams.
Shit. Wow.
It's a tough one.
That is a really tough one. This one is.
I'm gonna pick C.J. Stroud, though. You already know he's gonna be good. So he had basically everyone thought that the Texans were gonna be dog shit last year. And their receivers were like, no one really thought anything special about him. And
and even though C.J. Stroud had a phenomenal rookie season, I got to go with Caleb here. I got to go with Caleb.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I got to go with Caleb, man. I have so much confidence in Caleb Williams.
So right now we're tied.
That I think picking a guy like C.J. Stroud who's still young, I think that's still a gamble within itself.
Yeah.
Like, even though he had a great rookie season, he's still really young. He's going to go through some growing pains, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Caleb too. Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just going to mark this down. I have to say that one. All right, next one. Las Vegas Raider, Aiden O'Connell or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Yep. By the way, since we just talked about Patty Mahomes, did you see that back? I don't know if you saw it or not. It was on a highlight. You'll probably see it eventually. Okay. So they're doing a play. Travis Kelce ran the wrong route, and Patrick Mahomes was pissed off that he ran the wrong route. So he threw the ball behind his back to Travis Kelce, who still caught it and got a first down. Threw the ball behind his back like this. The defender was like right here in front of him, so he just went like that, kidding. Right behind his back. Travis Kelce caught it.
Those two really are special. I mean, that combo between Kelce and Mahomes is just
I think
ridiculous.
It was, honestly, I think it's more Mahomes than Kelce, but yeah.
But hey, I mean, Travis Kelce probably did not run the correct route because he has so much going on. He's dating Taylor Swift. His mind is not on football. He's dating Taylor Swift. So he has that podcast.
That's why be careful. Yeah, if you guys haven't drafted
exactly.
For fantasy,
he has the damn podcast. He's so worried about. I think he's like starting to transition out of playing football.
He is, man.
I mean, he is also.
He's also 33.
He's also getting up there
in age.
But he just
same age as
so much going on.
Same age as Gronkowski.
So much.
He's the same age as Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Gronkowski's retired. So, all right. We were on.
We just did
Aiden O'Connell. Did we? No, we didn't do it. We just did Patrick Mahomes. We did Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, Chargers, right?
Chargers. Justin Herbert or Caleb Williams?
I'm going with Caleb.
Okay.
Even though I really, really like Justin Herbert, I got to go with Caleb. I think Herbert is always injured.
I know what you mean. He's injury prone.
Yeah,
right now,
he's very injured.
For right now, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert because I know Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback.
And fair enough.
The Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa or Caleb Williams?
I'm going Caleb.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Caleb too. I think that that Tua has some of the best wide receivers.
For sure.
He probably has the second or third best receiving core.
Waddle and Tyreek, that's disgusting.
He also has a very good head coach that's a very offensive mind guru.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he's a okay quarterback that's put in a very good system.
He's definitely good enough, but is he good enough in those primetime moments? I don't believe so. I think Caleb could easily be that guy.
I would rather have Tyson Bagent than Tua, honestly.
I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. There's no way, dude, you could choose Bayesian over Tua.
I would. All right, next, moving on.
Fair enough.
The New England Patriots. We kind of talked about Drake May earlier today.
Caleb.
But, me too. All right. So I know I said before that that I would rather have Drake May, or I said I think I said something along the lines that I'd like Drake May better than Caleb Williams. So, but I kind of changed my mind since then. All right, the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
So long term, Aaron Rodgers in his prime, all day Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, of course, but we're talking modern day
right now.
So Caleb.
Yeah, so Caleb Williams.
And he's also coming off a massive surgery.
Yeah, and he's 48 years old.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is kind of a weird one. I have Russell Wilson / Justin Fields.
Caleb.
Yeah. All right. Justin Fields experience.
Even though, dude,
Russell Wilson is prime.
Russell Wilson got a lot of heat in Denver, but did he really do that bad in Denver?
On paper, he did good.
Exactly. I don't think Wilson did that terrible. I just think the entire team was just a total letdown.
Sean Payton just didn't like his
attitude. Why aren't they blaming Sean Payton more?
He's a good coach. That's why.
But clearly, it's not with Denver. I mean, Denver totally did not live up to their damn hype.
Would you rather have? Let me ask you this: Russell Wilson or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Really?
I think Russell Wilson has been an average quarterback throughout his career, but he looked like a superstar because he had one of the greatest defenses of all time in the Legion of Boom. Without a doubt, those years the Seahawks were consecutive Super Bowls and all that. They were carried by their defense, no doubt.
Okay.
I'm going with Caleb. Enough. I think Caleb could be a legitimate superstar.
So, interesting
superstar.
Point.
We're not just talking about good quarterback.
I think
superstar quarterback.
It was either Colin Cowherd or Skip Bayless that said that he believes that Caleb Williams, his floor is prime Russell Wilson and his ceiling is prime Aaron Rodgers. I would be totally happy with that.
I would be totally happy with that. Yeah, for sure.
Is the case.
Yeah, and I never said Russell Wilson was a bad quarterback. I just think his numbers were inflated and all that because of how good the defense was.
Well, right. If you could have a prime Russell Wilson, that's potentially a prime Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Yeah, he was obviously good enough to get them to a Super Bowl champion in back-to-back years. Yeah. But
some of the problem too that Russell Wilson faced was his size. We kind of talked about that with Kyler Murray being 5'10". Usually, I think average height quarterbacks is 6'2". You have to be tall enough to see over the defense and offensive line. So otherwise, you have to take an extra step back. Waste more time.
For sure.
All right.
And it plays a huge factor. And Bryce Young too.
Yeah. No, for sure. Tennessee Titans: Will Levis or Caleb? Williams? Yeah. What do you think about this?
Bear Claw, baby.
Oh, this is kind of an interesting one, but we're kind of talking about from now to the future. But Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins, or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins in his prime, I think he's always been an above average quarterback, but I never thought he's been.
Well, he sure as hell made a lot of money for not winning shit, and that's for sure.
I think what they're doing though is smart. I don't know, Andrew, if you agree with that, with drafting Michael Penix Jr. than paying Kirk Cousins.
Well, I mean, and definitely, you saw what the Packers did with Roger and Love. You saw what. Yeah, so I think they got a lot of heat because. They did give a lot of guaranteed money to Kirk Cousins, so they obviously want to win soon. But at the same time, why would you not want to have a rookie quarterback like Penix Jr. develop under a quarterback like Kirk Cousins for 3 years?
They did the same thing with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
Exactly.
Same thing with Jordan Love.
Obviously, the Packers have something figured out with the quarterback situation.
They're good at developing quarterbacks.
I really think you can't blame Atlanta for doing that, even though they got a lot of heat over there.
Yeah, they're good at developing.
I think it's smart. I think the Bears should start doing that.
Yeah.
Like maybe the Bears, after Caleb is all said and done, maybe they should draft his replacement years down the line, like a couple of years before he retires or moves on.
So, right. I mean, it seems like it works for some guys, and it seems like it doesn't work for others. I don't know. Because Tom Brady, I mean, it didn't work for him, obviously. For another example, C.J. Stroud. I always bring up that example.
Some players just had that it factor. Yeah. Like Brady had that it factor. C.J. Stroud looks like he has that it factor.
But then you have to ask the question, what if C.J. Stroud sat for a year and started him now? Would he be even better in the future than he would now?
Probably not.
Or vice versa?
Probably not.
Like if
I think a player like Stroud, like, he would be good regardless of
like
when
Patrick
he started.
Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year, which Alex Smith was a solid quarterback.
He was
elite.
Yeah.
Would Patrick Mahomes be as good?
There are some quarterbacks where, like, no doubt, if you throw them into the Lions, then they would fight and freaking do well. But there are some quarterbacks like Jordan Love, for example. Like, he is a good quarterback. He had a good year, but he's one of those guys that kind of struck me as he really, really did well learning under Rodgers for that long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, Love would have came into the league and set the league on fire the way he did in the second half if he didn't learn behind Rodgers.
Yeah.
But there are quarterbacks, like I just talked about, like C.J. Stroud and stuff, and where they just, like, you throw them in and they're good. So it all really depends. I think that it is a good option to use for like a young quarterback, but not always the case is needed.
So moving on to the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's an easy one, Caleb.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. The Carolina Panthers or Caleb Williams.
God bless Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
I already know you have to tell me on that one. So, the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott or
Caleb Williams.
Dak Prescott's another
Dak Prescott is a bum.
He was drafted in the 4th round.
Yeah, he's a freaking bum, dude. Man, he's a good quarterback, but when it comes time to when that game matters, you do not want Dak Prescott on your team. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he struggles in the playoffs.
You do not want Dak Prescott when the freaking clock is ticking and you need a first down or whatnot.
You know what the crazy thing is?
No freaking way, dude.
I've seen Dak Prescott play like some games, and he's playing out of his mind. And I'm thinking, dude, there's no team that's going to beat these Cowboys. Yeah. And then they get to the playoffs, and they look like the Bears did week 1 against the Packers.
Also, something about Dak that really pisses me off is that he signed his extension, which was a good amount of money. But after seeing what quarterbacks are making now, after seeing what quarterbacks are making now, he made a bullshit comment where he's like, "Oh, I can't afford to feed my family." Even though he's making $30+ million a year. It's like, what are you talking about? How about you go win a freaking playoff game, dude, before you start demanding more money from Jared Jones?
A lot of these guys...
Jared Jones has CeeDee Lamb to freaking pay off.
Yeah, he's probably kind of, like, being honest, because they
honest?
No,
you're telling me he can't afford to live off of $30 million?
No, hear me out here for a sec.
Dude, I'll be giving all that shit away, dude. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Andrew, yes, absolutely you can. You could live off $100 a month if you buy, like, just dog shit fucking, canned foods.
And so that would be a lot harder.
Right, exactly. But what I'm getting $100
to $30 million.
What I'm getting at, a lot of these athletes, they get into these habits of like luxury living lives, like maids, lawn care maintenance. They're not living like, they're not doing their own fucking lawns, like mowing their own. Maybe some of them do, but majority of them don't. They're not like everything. They pay for everything. Maids. And that all adds up. So, yeah, I get what he's saying. He probably has, like, a mansion. The taxes are a fortune in it. But
that's his fault,
exactly.
That's his fault.
So that's what I'm getting at. But when you live a life like that...
You don't need a lavish mansion to survive. Like,
but,
Joe, you have a beautiful house right here,
Yeah, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is that
it's not like crazy, but it's livable. It's good for a family,
No, but right. But what
in
I'm
a nice
getting
neighborhood.
at is that when you live that luxury life, like all the professional athletes, yeah, you need like millions and millions of dollars because that's the life you live. But yeah, if you lived in a regular suburb, but they all have to live in private gated communities. They don't want paparazzi, all that other shit. So yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. Oh, yeah, but I mean, you don't have to choose. Like Andrew said too. To his point, you don't have to live in a fucking mansion. You could live in a fucking nice house.
Look. Long story short, if you're making $30 million plus a season and you are complaining about money,
you should.
Number one, you are probably a scumbag, and number two, you probably don't know how to run your financials. So I absolutely Caleb Williams 1,000% of the day.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
moving on,
not
what's the
because of
next
that,
one?
but I think Caleb Williams.
Just Caleb Williams is a better quarterback already.
All right, Detroit Lions, Jared Goff.
Caleb.
Yeah, same. I mean, like I've always said this, Andrew, I've said this on the previous podcast. There's a reason why Sean McVay traded for Matt Stafford and got rid of Goff.
Look, Goff has really revived his career with Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
And Goff is still young, without a doubt. I think Detroit's going to have a lot of...
He was the first overall pick, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Goff is going to have a lot of success with Detroit throughout the years, but like I said, going back, I think Caleb is going to be a superstar. And there are only a few quarterbacks who I'm going to take over Caleb, and that's players like, Allen, Lamar, Pat. But Goff is not.
All right, this is an interesting one. The Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love or Caleb Williams?
Caleb. I would never even pick Love just because he's with the Packers. And keep your ass on Green Bay, Love. We do not want you in Chicago.
I don't know, man. This one's tough for me.
Caleb.
So wait, hear me out here. So,
look, okay, Joe, hold on. Love had a good second half of the season. His first half was pretty, average at best.
You just answered you literally just stole the words right out of my
mouth. Like, Love had a good second half, which ultimately took up a bunch of his stats. So
Caleb too. Yeah.
I'm going with Caleb.
Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold. All right, I'll just mark.
I'm going with Caleb.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So the shitty thing real quick about the Vikings is losing J.J. McCarthy to that meniscus tear.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. That sucks.
So,
that really does suck.
I mean, whether or not he would have started or not.
He probably wouldn't have, but it still sucks.
Yeah, because he can't do any reps.
Yeah, you never want to see a prospect like that.
All right, New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is the worst quarterback in football.
Would you rather have Bajan or Derek Carr?
Bajan.
At least he'll admit that.
Bajan 1,000 times.
So you are admitting that Bajan can start on.
No, for sure. I mean, there are players who for sure. There are a lot of teams that I'd probably go with Bajan.
Here's another interesting one.
Like Justin Wilson, absolutely Bajan all day.
Yeah. New York Giants, Daniel Jones.
Caleb.
Yeah. I think Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes. Sorry, man, you're not it.
No, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I just don't think he's very
You're
good
getting
quarterback.
paid way too much damn money.
Yeah, Brian Dable's on the hot seat right now.
Oh, for sure. He is getting fired for sure. And Neighbors is not going to make look, he's going to make an impact on that offense.
They had no wide receiver.
But it's simple as this. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to have a good offense.
Yeah. Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts or Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams. That's what
I'm going with Caleb, but Jalen Hurts is good, dude.
Another thing, I think he was drafted in the third round too, not like a first, second round.
I'm going with the claw, man. He has that it factor, dude.
Here's another interesting one. I kind of have a lot of respect for this guy, but San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy or Caleb Williams? Oh, that's quick. Drafted last year. Or 2 years ago. So
I think Purdy is the prime example of a system quarterback to where he is surrounded by elite talent, and that propels him to be a better quarterback. But you saw,
I think Jalen Hurts is similar to this too.
I think if San Fran had, I'm not saying a formidable, but a better quarterback than Purdy, I think they would have won that Super Bowl easily. But
All right.
No disrespect towards Purdy, but yeah, Caleb all day.
Yeah, I agree. He has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And there were some tough ones. Like Jalen Hurts made me think. Justin Herbert's made me think. You know, like if you were to say Hurts or Herbert in that situation, like I wouldn't argue with you one bit because, you know, those guys are pretty damn good. But
yeah,
Caleb is him, dude. Caleb will be him.
All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield or Caleb Williams?
I love Baker Mayfield, man. I really respect the shit out of him, but Caleb
I like his
all
attitude.
day. Yeah, Caleb all day. And dude, Baker Mayfield's a pretty damn good quarterback.
He's very solid.
He's like low key pretty freaking solid, and he has one of the best attitudes. And
yeah, but this is another one.
A true leader on the field. Like I really root for Baker Mayfield.
So this is another one of those teams where I think they also have really good wide receivers: Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. So he's Baker,
and that's also true. But he also did have success with Cleveland.
Yeah, no, he's good. I mean, he's a solid quarter. The problem with him with Cleveland. Was him, his shoulder injury, trying to stay healthy. So,
but he has all the qualities to be a really good team player.
I think he was another one
player overall,
drafted first overall.
He was,
right? Yeah,
he was. He's a dog, man.
All right.
Baker Mayfield has my respect.
Last but not least, Andrew, Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams?
That is an interesting one, but obviously we're going with Caleb Williams.
All right. I agree.
Trust in polls, man. Trust in polls.
Dan Orlovsky said that.
Trust in Ryan
Polls. Brandon's brother, Dan Orlovsky, said that.
Brandon's twin.
Doppelganger said that the Bears should have drafted Jaden Daniels.
Nah, man. There's no way because, listen, I'm sure Jaden Daniels, he has all the talent in the world. He's a really highly touted draftee, without a doubt, but If Ryan Poles didn't pick Williams and Williams goes on to be the quarterback that everyone thought he was going to be, you would go down as making one of the stupidest decisions in history. Williams is getting compared to a better Peyton Manning almost, which is kind of ridiculous. Like a better prospect than Peyton Manning. And that's Peyton Manning, dude.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Peyton frickin' Manning with that big forehead and all that information in there.
Yeah, right. Let's see here.
Dude. I think there was only three quarterbacks I picked over Caleb, right? I picked Lamar, Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. I think that's it.
Yeah, so you have 13 teams. Way more than that. What the fuck am I doing?
So I only
15, 20, 25.
Sorry about all that, but I only chose Allen, Lamar, and Patrick Mahomes over Caleb. Everyone else, I picked Caleb.
Yeah, dude. So we literally.
So you picked.
I have 27.
You picked Caleb.
And So you have 28, and I have 27. Trying to figure out some of the. I messed up on the tally marks. So basically, Andrew picked 4 quarterbacks that he thought he would rather have than Caleb Williams, and I picked 5. So we're basically out of 32 NFL teams.
I can't remember the 4th one I picked. I thought I only picked Jackson, Allen, and Mahomes.
Yeah,
because I didn't pick Herbert. I didn't
put down in the comment sections which one you picked.
I didn't pick Oh, dude, we missed Joe Burrow. That's who we're missing.
The Bengals.
Yeah, we didn't. You didn't put the Bengals.
Really? Out of all the teams I missed? No, that's not right.
Yes, you did not say Joe Burrow.
You know what happened?
You did not say the Bengals.
You know what happened? Remember when we were kind of stunned, oh, did we do this team? I'm yeah, we did. We must have missed it. I must have missed it. Because I'm almost pretty sure that I have. Because I just counted it out. I have. Oh no, dude, you're right.
So you are correct. I did pick 4 quarterbacks over Williams. I'm going with Joe Burrow
right
over. But you didn't say him.
I must have missed it.
Because I don't remember you saying him. So I'm going with Joe Burrow. So I
Yeah,
picked.
you're right, because I just went right to Cleveland
Yeah.
after.
So I picked 4 quarterbacks over Caleb Williams. The rest I picked Williams.
Yeah, I picked 5.
So Lamar, Patrick, Allen, and Burrow, I'm picking over Caleb.
Well, that's still impressive. Out of 32 teams,
Yeah.
you want 28 of the teams. You would rather have Caleb Williams, and I would rather out of 27 of the teams. And this guy hasn't even played one official NFL game in his career.
Yeah.
So I would rather have 27 out of 27 teams. I'd rather have Caleb Williams as the starting quarterback. So that's pretty impressive.
That's true.
So,
That's very true.
But yeah, I mean, I think.
All right. So, and ending that segment, which was a very fun segment. Obviously, we're gonna have to fix some of that up.
Yeah, we're gonna edit.
Yeah. But, question, Joe.
yeah.
With the Bears roster, do you think the Bears can potentially go to the Super Bowl and win it?
I guess I would have to say who is in the Super Bowl with them.
Well, it doesn't
depends.
matter. Don't think
it's
that
hard
much
to
into it. Do you think the Bears could win a Super Bowl this year?
Caleb Williams would be the first rookie quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
Which kind of gives me hope because no other team has ever done
It's
it.
a first for everything.
There's a first for everything, and I think if you look at the Bears team, they're nasty.
So you're saying is there a possibility? Yeah, there's a possibility the fucking Panthers can.
No, there's not a possibility the Panthers can.
I mean,
You're dead wrong. You're
There's
dead wrong
definitely
on
a
that.
possibility, but a likelihood is it's like a one.
Of course, the likelihood is no because this is a new team. They got to mesh together.
It's a 0.1%
Injuries.
chance,
It's
so,
really hard,
yeah.
But I think the Bears roster is talented enough to where they could easily, well, not easily, but they could make a Super Bowl or go deep, or just go deep. I really think they can.
Make it deep in the playoffs
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. So if you're asking, do I think they will win the Super Bowl this year? No, I do not. Do I think that they have a possibility of it? Maybe. I think there's a chance.
Yeah,
Do I think that they're a wild card contender / playoff? Yeah.
for sure.
So, which is still impressive with a rookie quarterback.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah.
Well, so I say yes. Joe's yes.
Yeah, that there's a
Okay.
chance. Yeah, I'll
All right.
say yeah. There's
For
a
sure.
chance that Caleb Williams can definitely, or that the Bears can definitely win a Super Bowl.
I think so. And the Bears have a lot of star power on the team. They also
Mm-hmm.
have star power off the team.
Yeah.
And we have Simone Biles supporting the Bears, because her husband Owens, she's a fan
Unless she
of
was
us.
wearing a Packer.
And I was about to bring that up. It's not a big deal, obviously. It's not worth being pissed off over. I think you'd have to be a
I don't
child
think-
at that point.
To be honest, I don't know if she's even a
But-
Packers fan. I think she's just there to support
Yeah, but
Owens.
there's some fire underneath Simone Biles right now. Not because of what she did in Paris, but she showed up to the game today with a Packers jacket on, and there are some fans who are kind of pissed off about.
She did bring us
about
home
Biles.
3 gold medals, though.
She brought us more than 3 gold medals.
Yeah. I mean, this year.
I personally think it's not a big deal. Obviously, you don't want to see her wear a Packers thing, but I'm not going to be a kid about
Yeah.
it and make a big deal about.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I don't know. It's hard.
But
to
I'm sure Owens, after that happens, hey babe, next time can you
Yeah.
please wear a Packers or a Bears?
Yeah, it
jacket.
is kind of weird. You had to have thought that the Bears fans don't like the Packers, and her wearing that. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe she is what she might have been a little naive about it and not thinking
Well, and just because her husband is on the Bears, that doesn't mean she has to be a Bears fan. She could be a fan of whoever she wants.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. But she did say that whole thing. Pizza and hot dogs coming to Chicago. So you thought she was a Chicago fan.
yeah.
When she said that.
She's obviously just following her husband wherever her
Yeah.
husband plays.
Right.
But honestly, it wasn't even worth talking about. It was just something worth mentioning.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think we covered a lot about the Bears today. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Joe?
Yeah, just the beer that we've been drinking. So, like traditional, change something up a little bit. Instead of just talking sports, we also want to include, the beer that we're drinking or whatever alcoholic beverage that we're trying out. So what was our motto? Like, we drink it so you don't have to.
Yeah. Come on, let's do it. We drink it so you don't have to.
Anyways,
Perfect.
So, it's getting close to fall, which is kind of scary to think about. The summer's almost over. But this is a pumpkin lager. So, lager brewed with real pumpkin, cinnamon, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and mace. It's made from Lakefront Brewery. I didn't do a lot of research back, behind it, but 6.1% alcohol. My favorite pumpkin beer that I've ever had was Leinenkugel's Harvest Patch Shandy.
And Leinenkugel's.
Oh gosh, they discontinued it. It's been like 5-6 years now since it's been discontinued.
It must not have been good.
A lot of people really liked it. It's like one of their biggest demand beers.
And clearly not, right?
I don't know. I really liked it. I know from other people that have tried it, they've really liked it. And I've been trying to drink like a pumpkin beer or like a fall beer that's been similar to it, and I still have yet to find one that it's as good as the.
No, a pumpkin beer just doesn't. I don't know, man. It's not that good to me.
Yeah,
like pumpkin pie and all that shit. Yeah, delicious, but like pumpkin beer.
Even if it's like fall, like festival kind of season.
It's not always been my favorite.
Yeah, I just like trying new things, different things.
So out of 10.
So I know, Andrew, you like to do the points, the decimals.
Well, yeah, and that's because of Dave Portnoy, of course.
Yeah, no. So
because if you don't, that's a rookie score.
I kind of like
that's a rookie score,
a flat number.
And shout out to Dave.
So, man, you know what? Like, I think I'm gonna, go against what I normally do. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. That's not bad.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's drinkable. It's not horrible. I've had a lot worse pumpkin beer. It's not my favorite. Like I said, Harvest Patch Shandy's my favorite. So, but it's okay. 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. So for the drink that I'm drinking, very, very cool. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of Two Turn Tony. He has social media like TikTok, Instagram. He has all that stuff. He's kind of known for like doing crazy stuff. He calls himself like the Duck Daddy. His pet is like a duck, which is kind of crazy because no one has a duck as a pet, but he does, and he brings her everywhere. But he's just kind of like a wild person. He drinks, he parties.
He's like an OnlyFans model.
Yeah, he's an OnlyFans model.
Crazy.
He makes a shit ton of money, but he released a drink. It's called Two Turnt Tea, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it, or if you haven't, well, now you do. I've always wanted to try it, but I didn't believe that he sold it in Chicago, so I never really looked for it. But Joe, he had it. He's like, "Hey man, you want to try Two Turnt Tea?" And I was just like super excited to try it. Basically, I think it was and pretty good. Off rip, it didn't grab me at first. I definitely needed to drink more of it, but it's non-carbonated and it actually kind of went down easy.
Yeah, I noticed that when I tried it too. Really watered down smooth, but I think that you were saying he's big into like bodybuilding, right? Or
yes,
whatever.
Yeah, he's big into working out. His content is really funny. His entire family is hilarious. His mother, super funny. His dad, Gordy, I believe is his name, is also crazy like Tony. Those two are like the actual dynamic duo when it comes to just and living life. But it's called Two Turnt Tea. I'm drinking the iced tea version right now with the hint of lemon. It's 5% alcohol. It's not bad. No calories. Actually, excuse me, I'm wrong. 100 calories, but it's made with real tea. No sweeteners. It's gluten free. It has and all this stuff. No bubbles. Long story short, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. And I know that's a rookie score. I was just talking about that, but I think that really is like a good score to give it. Like it's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow me away. It's just like a really cool drink to try, just because if you know the guy, and 7 out of 10.
Supposedly, there's like no hangover. The hangover is very minimum with them, because it's like kind of hydrating you at the same time as it's kind of getting you drunk. So it's kind of an interesting combo.
It is.
So, but yeah, 7 out of 10. It's fair.
It definitely is, but for sure. I think that sums up our podcast.
Yeah.
This was really fun. I'm really glad we got back into this.
Absolutely.
Because all those months away, we were just talking like back and forth, just texting each other like, hey, we should start it back up, or but life got in the way.
Yeah.
But now we have time again, so it's like, why not?
So the next episode of season 2, so episode 2, I guess.
Season 2, episode 2.
Yep. We'll probably not. We probably won't get to until a couple of weeks from now, just from when you move in with your shit.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, but we're definitely going to continue to do it. Try one episode a week. So.
Yep, and we will for sure. Also, it is worth mentioning that Brandon will definitely be a part of this podcast again. I don't believe, and don't quote me on this, but I think he's going to be more of like a part-timer where he's going to make some appearances every now and then, but I don't think he's going to be that like weekly mainstay like how he once was. And I definitely could be wrong, but Jimmy will definitely be transitioning into an everyday role. And if Brandon wants to, and if Brandon wants to, by all means, Brandon will definitely have a spot at the table because we love him. He definitely did a really good job last time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there definitely will be some changes, and I'm really looking forward to growing with you guys.
Absolutely.
And thank you for supporting us. And I know like we kind of just like ghosted everyone last time, and we do apologize over that, but we are back. We are back better than ever. We're going into a season that is going to be super exciting. And we're very fortunate to have you guys in our corner. Thank you for supporting us. Please like, share, and comment. That all you could do. Spread the message if you want. If you don't want to, don't blame you. But thank you guys.
And we're out.
And we're out.